Hey, good morning, Georgianna. Welcome to Holy Week. It's hard to believe that this coming Sunday will be Easter, and we're super excited. I hope you've registered and signed up and are ready to come. I'm doing a children's moment that day, so we're anticipating having families together. But before I get to this morning's passage, I want to cover a little church business, if we could, just so that you know what's going on. So we are super excited that on April 11th, we are welcoming children back to our campus. I want to be clear that part of the holdup has not been over fearfulness on our part, but rather having all of our adult volunteers in a place where they were comfortable to come back and serve. So we are going to offer children's ministry at 9:45. Initially, we are going to require a sign up so that we can keep room size limited to about 20 children, we think. Nursery will be offered all morning long at all three services, but at 9:45, we will have the resumption of children's ministry on April 11th. And so everybody, third grade and above, will wear a mask, and second grade and below will not be required to wear a mask. So I hope you're excited about that. So the passage that God has for us this morning in our devotion, we're just going along, and it was so timely for Easter. So let me share it with you. It says, it comes from Isaiah 5:20 through 23. It really is a prophetic judgment that Isaiah is making upon the people of Israel. He says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who put darkness for light and light for darkness, who put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes and clever in their own sight. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine and champions at mixing drinks, who acquit the guilty for a bribe but deny justice to the innocent." Well, there was a part of that passage that immediately took me back to my college days when I thought I could have identified all those folks that were heroes at drinking wine and champions at mixing drinks. And I might have been one of them. But that's a story for another day. Part of what grabs me about this passage is that we're in a season and a time in our country where so much of what God created for good, the world has turned into evil. God gave us intimacy, and we have perverted that in unbelievable ways with pornography and sex trafficking and all kinds of different things. God gave us blessings, and we hoarded them. God gave us relationships, and then we didn't treat others well. We didn't love one another well. It just seems to me that as I look into this world, there is so much anger, so much hate, so much evil. And if you're like me, and maybe it is just me, I just feel helpless some days because the pastor inside of me wants to say, how can we make a difference? Where are we not doing what we need to be doing? How can we take a charge? How can we set up a water stand in the gates of hell before people go? I mean, I want to know how we can make a difference in the lives of a world where so many people have taken that which God said was good and perverted it for evil. I think all the things that we have around us that we could celebrate and the things that we could use for good, and yet so many people choose not to. One of the things that's recently happened in our life, Dee Dee's mother is going through that aging process like a lot of our parents, and she has fallen victim a number of times to people calling and scamming her. And what's interesting to me is she can't remember whether she took her medicine yesterday, but somehow she can go to Publix, buy GameStop cards, and give those numbers out to people on the phone. I don't get it, but I also don't get who would prey upon the elderly. Who preys upon children in our world and traffics them for sex? This is evil. And so what the prophet Isaiah is saying is, woe to these people. And I think the temptation for us is that we would want to somehow seek justice, that we would want to be the people that brings a justice, like a righteous justice down on people. So I want to share with you a passage from Romans that we tiptoed around week before last. It comes from Romans 12, and it says this: "Do not take revenge." Man, how many times have we seen an injustice and we just want to step in and take revenge? It says, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge. I will repay,' says the Lord. On the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head." This is biblical forgiveness. Do not overcome evil with evil, but overcome evil with good. Part of what I want to say to us, church, this morning is that it is good for us to have a holy discontent. We should look at the injustices of the world that are happening all around us, the marginalizing of people groups and racism and all those kind of things, and we should be furious with those, but to have a holy discontent that speaks righteousness into injustice. This is what the prophet is calling us to. And I think the prophet is trying to remind us that, listen, God sees these things. And one day, all of us will give an account for what we've done in this world. So I just want us in this season where it just seems like evil is just permeating our culture and our society, to focus our attention this week on the fact that Jesus came and then Jesus was resurrected, and that the purpose of that is to redeem all of humanity to God. So this is the focus of this week. Just know that where there is dark, there is light. Where there is evil, there is love. And this is the purpose. We live in this tension-filled world since the moment in the garden. So I know this has been a little bit longer than usual, but know that I love you. I hope you have an incredible Holy Week. I hope whatever plans you have for Easter include us in some fashion in worship, or worship with somebody. I'm not so selfish that I would only want you with us. If you have a chance to be with another church, sunrise service, just make sure this coming weekend you're with God. I love you, church. I'll see you next Monday.